So this is a big one. Hyundai, after teasing it a lot, have finally launched the Exter, and we have it here in the flesh. I'm going to give you a walk around. But before I do that, let's talk about the prices that have created quite a stir. It has been launched at a starting price of 6 lakh and it goes up to 9 lakh 32,000 rupees. Let's take a look at the variant prices. So those were the prices. Let's now look at the powertrain options that you get. You get a 1.2 litre Kappa petrol engine which has 83 HP and 113.8 Nm of torque. This comes mated to an AMT or a manual transmission. You will also get a bi-fuel version of this which is CNG, which has 69 HP. So let's dive into the way that it looks on the outside. Anybody see that Defender resemblance up front? Well, I see it. Drop me a comment if you see it as well. Right up here, you have that small, slim section of blackened out area, which is what really reminds me of the Defender. And the headlamps, the DRLs, which are the H-shaped. You have projector headlamps down here below. And you have this blackened out portion of the grille. There's a lot of this piano black that we are seeing around the car, and of course skid plates to give it that beefy SUV look. Coming to the side, you see quite a boxy upright stance, except for that A-pillar which is very, very steeply raked. But otherwise you see very square angular lines, lots of contours that are very sharp and angular around the car. Even the wheel arches, black cladding around the wheel arches and the bottom to give it that very beefy SUV look. You have 15-inch alloys over here. The alloys nice and smart. So for those people who always comment on these alloys don't look, here's a smart set of alloys for you. You have 185 millimeters of ground clearance over here, and you have a 2,450 millimeter wheelbase. That's about 5 millimeters more than the Punch. You've got indicators on the ORVM as well. You have the roof rail again to give it that SUV look. And coming to the D-pillar, you have that contoured, textured, piano black finish over here on the car. Now let's take a look at the rear. Coming to the rear, if you view it from a distance, it actually looks quite squat and low down to the ground from this angle. But let's take a look at all the other elements. You have the H-shaped LED lamps over here. You have this textured piano black bar that runs across the rear. It's also the similar texture that we saw on the D-pillar on the side. And of course, it's going to carry on the inside as well. You have the huge Hyundai logo, a rear wiper, rear spoiler, shark fin antenna, and lower down you have the skid plate to give it that beefy SUV feel. Let's take a look inside the boot now. Okay, so a fairly large boot over here, 391 liters of space is the figure that they have given us. It's quite wide. You kind of have to haul things over and then there's a bit of a drop, but I think you would be able to get 3 or 4 trolleys in here vertically quite easily. It does look quite large. Well, that's the boot. Now let's take a look inside. So the interior of the Exter, very, very reminiscent of the Aura, almost similar in fact. You get this textured matte black area across the dash in the middle. You've got a space for storage which is underneath it, exactly like the Neos. Quite a large glove box over here, and you get color options for the interior. So the body color accents are around the AC vents and on the seat stitching as well. This color is blue on the outside, so I have the blue accents around the AC vents. You have an 8-inch touchscreen over here which stands up a little bit off the dash, but it's very nicely integrated into the instrument cluster area over here. So a single line running across the dash. It's not too high. The seat has a lot of range of height adjust, so visibility out the front is good. But the dash itself is actually really, really deep. So there's a lot of space between me and the windscreen, which is very, very raked over here. The instrument cluster is all digital over here now. So you have a completely digital instrument cluster. You have steering controls as well. You have segment first features like a wireless charger. The automatic version, the AMT version, will have paddle shifters as well. So that is also a cool feature. And you have things like a dash cam fitted as well into the car. So a lot of segment first features over here. Let's take a quick look at the feature list of this feature packed car. The car feels wide enough over here, so it feels quite roomy on the inside. And of course, you have that sunroof, which is also a feature that us Indians love in our cars. So yes, there is a sunroof and it does work on voice command. The voice commands will also react to people speaking in English, in Hindi, and a lot of other language options that you can choose from. On the practicality front, there are lots of storage spaces. There are cup holders, a larger and a smaller one here in the central console. There's space to store your phone over here. Door pockets are large, enough space for a 1 liter bottle as well over here. Another small storage area pocket for something like your phone in the door. So practicality wise, there's a lot of storage area here in this cabin as well. Now, to keep you cool, you have automatic climate control in this car. Below that, we see a USB-C and a USB, as well as a 12-volt charging port. Over here, we have a cigarette lighter at the moment. And you have a whole host of other features, as you've seen. The infotainment system can be connected to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You also have Alexa Home to Car connectivity, and you have the Blue Link connected app as well. Now, while you take a look at the laundry list of the safety features of this car, I'm going to hop into the back seat. Okay, so just for representation purposes, I've got my team into the car. Mugdha's here with me grinning away, and Manas is also here. As you can see, 3 of us have actually fit in quite easily over here. Shoulders touching, but for a car of this size, it's really not too bad. Mugdha's a whole lot taller than me, and as you can see, she does have quite a lot of leg room over here. Enough headroom as well. The roof is scooped out at the back, so there's more headroom where the passenger is seated in the back seat above the hip point. So you get a larger amount of headroom over here. So actually it does feel quite spacious enough for a car of this size in the back seat. So you saw that there was enough space for 3 and a good amount of legroom over here also in this back seat, headroom, etc. But the seat itself is a little low, the window line is high, but there is a large amount of glass area, and the door itself opens out quite wide actually. So getting in and out, ingress, egress is very easy. You kind of slide in and the seat is at your hip point from the outside. The seat itself quite comfortable, good amount of under thigh support. Recline angle is nice as well. The seats flip down if you want to store more luggage, but the whole backrest flips down in one go as well. For the rear passenger, you have the air con vents over here, and you do have a 12-volt charger as well. So pretty much everything that you need in a back seat of a car of this size. One little pocket over here to keep some storage. You have a slot for your phone over here, and you have space for 1 liter bottles as well at the back of this car. Headrests to the front seat are fixed. They're not adjustable headrests. That's another thing that I've noticed here at the rear. Rear seat passengers get 2 headrests. There's no third headrest for the middle passenger, but there is a third seat belt. In fact, there are 3 3-point seat belts for the rear passengers of this car. Well, you've seen everything that the Exter has to offer. Would you buy the Exter or would you buy the Tata Punch? Leave that in the comments for us and tell us what you thought of it.